What's going on, everyone? Chris Mack coming at you today with the Marvel Legends Paladin action figure from the Deadpool Sasquatch Build-A-Figure Wave. If you guys want to grab this, unfortunately, it is now on the secondary market. But as I always say, first and foremost, support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comics locally. If not, at the time of this recording, it is available on Amazon, so go get you some action figures. And this looks awesome. I love the Deadpool logo they used for this wave. And of course, this Sasquatch there. Love that Deadpool logo on the top. Just cool beans all around. And I love this artist rendition of Paladin. So if you guys know who the artist is, please let me know down in the comments so we can give them the proper shout out. Come around to the back. Same cool product shot of the figure there. Read up close up so you guys can check it out at your convenience, as well as the figures from the wave that you need to build Sasquatch. Same cool art here on the side. Nothing on the bottom. So is this older Legends figure cool or not? Let's bust him out and get a closer look. Paladin, a.k.a. Paul Denning, a.k.a. Paul Dennis, real alias unknown, was created by Jim Shooter and Carmine Infantino. His first appearance was Daredevil 150 from January 1978. Paladin is a mercenary and private investigator with an ambiguous past. Apparently, the character was inspired by the 1950s Western television series Have a Gun, Will Travel, where the character Paladin is an investigator slash gunfighter traveling around the Old West working as a mercenary for people who hire him to solve their problems. Paladin's been on several teams, including Heroes for Hire. He also possesses slightly superhuman physical strength, speed, stamina, agility, reflexes, and durability. His bodysuit is bulletproof, and his helmet allows for 1 hour air supply with infrared lenses. So that's about as much backstory as I can really pull up on Paladin. If you guys have more, let me know, because he's just one of those characters that I don't know a whole heck of a lot about. Now, as for the figure and the accessories, he does come with these guns, and I know that these have been used on several different Legends characters. The one that sticks out particularly for me is Mystique. They made it more of a gold gun for her. I wish these looked more like actual 9mm or Berettas or something, but he comes with not one, but two, so that's kind of fancy. And even though you can't see it very well, I like the attention to detail on the guns. I wish there was maybe a little bit of like blackwash on there to just make it stand out more. But what really irks my Gurk is he does have weapon storage for it, but there's no hole on the bottom. So when you put just one gun in, it's kind of a big hole, and it just sort of sits in there loosey-goosey, and it falls out relatively easy. I mean, this sucker's big enough, wide enough, is that you can actually fit both guns in. That's kind of ridiculous. I wish they would have put holsters on both sides and made them where they can actually sit. I don't know if they were maybe thinking in production that they were going to make a bigger gun, but yeah, I'm glad to have the weapon storage, but if you're going to do that, especially posing them on a shelf, be prepared if he falls, you're going to lose that gun. He also comes with a fancy knife, and I'm sure that we've seen this before. If you guys can tell me where, I'd appreciate it. But there's just that gold, the bling on it just really adds a nice little standout to it instead of just making it look silver. I don't know, I think it's fancy, and I appreciate that you can actually put it in his boot. So, of course, as I always say, weapon storage is always appreciated. I just wish there was an extra place for that other gun. As for the paint apps, not a bad looking figure. I love the gold on his lenses, which, as I just said, has infrared. I'm not sure how his mask is supposed to give him 1 hour of breathing. Maybe it's on a different one. His old one used to be a full mask, as we saw in the backstory. Sorry, my brain's not quite firing yet. But that black, that purple, just looks really cool. He reminds me sort of, the style reminds me a little bit of Vigilante from Peacemaker. That bulletproof vest looks really cool, especially with the silver straps there. I love that rigidness down here to protect his back. I'm glad that the what do you call it? All the pieces that are supposed to be like armor are have more of a sheen to them. And of course, that looks cool. Of course, it's the older one, so you gotta be careful. This does tend to slouch, so I have it stuffed up on his leg relatively well. Love the paramilitary boots. I hate when we get those stupid, like, flat Spider-Man feet. Those annoy the shit out of me. So whenever we get those military boots in there, I really appreciate it. And of course, his clothes look like the camos. And I don't know, just that black and that purple with that gold lens just looks really good together. You'd think that that would look kind of off, but yeah, altogether, looks great. As for the articulation, again, warm them up. He was relatively stiff when I took him out of the packaging. You can look down that far, that much up, side to side, and you get a little bit of play in it so you can get a nice range. Again, I wish that butterfly joints were standard, but of course this is an older one. That's still kind of stiff. I got to warm that up again, but you can pull out that far. That sounded awful. 360, we're going to move right past that. Upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. Of course, the hand rocks that way. I do wish that we could have maybe got some punching hands, because he comes with 2 trigger fingers. And these trigger fingers are kind of a pain. I actually had to work this finger out to actually fit in this tiny ass hole. So you got to be real careful with these fingers to not snap them. But I wish we could have got some punching, you know, some variety of hands like we kind of get with some of the newer figures. That would have been a nice addition. But it is what it is for an older figure. He does go down that far back. And I wish, like McFarlane, I wish they would spin here and here to get him further range, but it's Hasbro. What are you going to do? Legs go out that far forward. And of course, like every Legends figure, he suffers from the butt flap. Upper thigh cut. 90 degrees on the knee. Love that boot swivel. And I wish that they had the toe pegs like McFarlane. I hated them when they first came up, but they've been really, helpful in terms of action figure photography. Those new pads look fancy. I like when they do that to kind of at least hide that ugly joint on the knee. So he looks good, articulates relatively well for an older figure, comes with a barrage of, those things, accessories, and minus just that lack of that extra weapon storage for the other gun. I can't complain. He looks relatively cool, and you don't have to use him as Paladin. He could be a really cool G.I. Joe or whatever you guys want to use in your collection. Well, gang, we have just about done it. We have just about gone over every single figure from the Sasquatch Wave. The last one that we have to go over is Deathlock. We will go over that eventually, as well as the Build-A-Figure Sasquatch Wave, which will bring us to another, box set that I've been dying to go over. But at least we've gone over all these awesome figures. My favorite version of Cable and Domino, and then, of course, the Uncanny X-Force Deadpool, which I love Rick Remender's rendition of him in those comics. If you have not checked them out, go do so. And then, of course, the X-Force version of Laura Kinney, X-23. And one thing that does kind of throw me off a little bit is this was supposed to be like a Deadpool / X-Men wave, which all of the figures, for the most part, do make sense, except for Paladin, because I've always noticed him as more of like a street-level character. He was first appeared in Daredevil, and then, I guess, kind of Avengers. So to throw him in the X-Men mix, I've read a lot, not all, but I've read a lot of X-Men and offshoot issues, and I've never seen Paladin in the mutant world. But nonetheless, to have him tangible instead of just a comic book character on the page, I can't complain. He's nicely well done, and I'm glad to have him in my collection. What are you guys going to do with your Sasquatch Wave action figures? Are you posing them on a shelf? Are you doing action figure photography? Take some photos. Let us know. We'd love to see them over on the socials. For an older figure, Paladin has a lot to offer. He's relatively well articulated. Of course, older figures are going to have problems, just like with any figure. A gun holster, pain in my ass. But we get weapon storage. We get some nice posability. We got some nice paint apps. And as you can see here, you get them into a really good range with the action poses. So if you're going to do action figure photography, this figure is definitely going to be up your line. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, as I said before, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comics, and grab this dude, or the places that we talked about at the beginning of the review. Speaking of, if you did enjoy this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little X-Men bell next subscribe, that was I get into upload content, you guys get notified, come to the channel, and I love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, photo slideshow coming up next. Hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.